details about the man accused of shooting and killing a parole officer in Oakland.
Brian Hall has now been charged with murder, and according to court documents, he has an extensive criminal history. In addition to the new charges, Hall has been convicted of 10 felonies that date back to 1996.
Those past convictions include assault, robbery, and drug crimes. Most recently, Hall was convicted earlier this year for a stabbing in Alameda County. He made his first court appearance this afternoon for the shooting death of parole agent Joshua Byrd. That was last Thursday.
Our Crown 4's Dan Kerman was there and has more.
Prosecutors say prior to Thursday's fatal shooting at a state parole office in Oakland, they don't believe defendant Brian Hall and parole agent Joshua Byrd had any interaction.
We can't find any at this point. What I do know is that the defendant showed up to the parole office a day late for an appointment, and that Mr. Byrd was not his parole agent.
Hall made his first appearance in court Monday but did not enter a plea. He's now been charged with a litany of crimes and, if found guilty, faces life in prison without the possibility of parole.
First being murder of a parole agent, that being Joshua Byrd, with special circumstances, and that's because of his peace officer status. There are gun enhancements. There's also a robbery of a passenger on an AC transit bus, theft of a vehicle during an escape, and a felon in possession of firearm. All of these also include enhancements as well as a two-strike enhancement, which makes this a third strike if convicted.
At a news conference Monday prior to the hearing, Alameda County District Attorney Ursula Jones-Dixon made it clear it was the policy of her predecessor, Pamela Price, not to charge enhancements when Hall was charged in November of 2022 with attempted murder and assault.
So as a result of that, great bodily injury was not charged. And in addition to that, not only great bodily injury, but strikes were alleged, but they could not be considered under that directive.
Hall ultimately made a plea deal in February of this year, but Jones-Dixon suggested Hall may not have been walking the streets of Oakland last week had the case been charged properly in the first place.
As a result of none of those enhancements and none of the strikes, he got 4 years at halftime, so he did 2 years in custody. Had he had that same allegation with the enhancements and strikes, we would have been looking at more like 12 years at 85%. So that's a huge difference in time.
In a statement, recalled District Attorney Pamela Price denied any wrongdoing, saying, "Mr. Hall's crime took place before I was in the office, and his negotiated plea deal was made after I left office." The family of the victim was not in court, but the hearing was filled with law enforcement officers from various agencies. Again, the defendant did not enter a plea. He's due back in court on August 22nd. At the Wiley Emanuel Courthouse in Oakland, Dan Kerman, Crown 4 News.